Okay, great. Awesome. So welcome everyone. So this presentation is hosted by African Ecological Futures, which is the initiative I work with that is under WWF, the Regional Office for Africa. So I am Tendai Chino, I am the program manager, and it's a pleasure to be here, like I've said. So I'm going to start off by just giving you a brief intro into what African Ecological Futures is. So basically, African Ecological Futures is data and science-driven initiative. So we work towards assessment, advocacy, and solutions development. And we are into the holistic planning and development of Africa. I think we started off in 2015 where we had a collaboration with the African Development Bank, UNEP. And this was because we realized that Africa is developing, the numbers are growing. And as we develop, we should develop in a very sustainable manner. So one of the tools we've taken in is futures thinking, where we are into scenario planning, horizon scanning, where we look at the different futures that we want and we see it how we can get there. But as an initiative, we're mainly focused on working and influencing policymakers. So just a brief summary of what we do, and that is we look beyond the immediate constraints, and this is futures thinking. And you see that we work with policymakers and practitioners, capacity areas. We're looking at anticipating change, taking advantage of opportunities, and coping with threats. And these are some of the themes for our futures thinking. So we look at trends. This could be ecological, physical, even looking at the financial trends. We have a scenario mapping where we not really predict as such, but we put on trajectories to see where is the future headed. If we continue as business as usual, if we look at more holistic approach, if we consider this and that. And we also look into the practices, what is being done, what have other countries done, what is the most effective methods, and we also encourage the use of methods and tools that we think will work best for the initiative. So in a short overview of what the three streams we work on: analysis, evidence building, and prototyping, policy engagement and advocacy, and then there is mainstreaming as well as tools. So for this session, we wanted to look at what role youth can play in Africa's ecological future. So what is the future that young people envision for Africa? We're looking at a climate-friendly, energy efficiency, and basically the green economy. So my presentation was to introduce our two presenters who are actually doing something in the African region. So they were voted as some of the top 100 conservationists in Africa, the youth. And we have Adele, who is the founder of Bio Solutions, that is an agricultural project. And then we have Nella, who is CEO of Abudu Conservation Center and the founder of African Nature Alliance. Amazing young women who are doing amazing work. And hopefully they are now online and would be happy to present, starting with Adele. So let me just check if they have managed to join us. But it seems they haven't. I don't know, Steph, could I just move to my phone and maybe look for them for a couple of minutes? That's okay.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing I can do right now. I try to get in touch with them, but yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hey there, Mike.
Hi, I thought while we wait for Tendai, we could say hello and, keep the audience entertained. Don't go anywhere because Tendai is going to be back very shortly.
Yes.
But Stephanie, Tendai's trying to call the participants, isn't she?
Yeah, that's what I understood.
Well, look, while that happens, I know that obviously you're quite involved with climate-friendly solutions as well. So, I mean, it would be remiss of me if I didn't ask you, how is that an area that you got involved with? Because I'm sure we have people that are watching that are thinking, I do want to get more involved in the green economy. I do want to get involved in climate action solutions. Our last summit was on climate action. This one is on work. Those two things come together perfectly, right? There are so many jobs in the green economy. My own girlfriend is looking for jobs in conservation and education at the moment. So I really get this, but how did you go, this is an area I want to be in?
Well, to those of you who do not know me, I'm Stephanie. I'm from the YMCA in Germany, and I got involved with climate-friendly solutions, climate action, through the YMCA in Bonn. So I studied political science, which, kind of started my interest in political solutions, governance solutions. And so when I started studying in Bonn, I went to the YMCA in Bonn, and they had a very cool connection to the World YMCA, because what some people do not know, the United Nations has some secretariats in Bonn, seated in Bonn, one of them being the Climate Change Secretariat. So if you have pre-negotiations to the Climate Change Conference, they are happening in Bonn. And that was the moment that I got interested in the topic, because we had this connection. I got the chance to go to one of these pre-sessions, and that led to me sliding into the Resources Group of Environment by the World YMCA. So to all of you, I can only just share a really big welcome to our group. Please feel free to check out our Facebook group. Marie-Chris is already posting it in the chat. And what we are doing is basically supporting young people in YMCA communities who want to do something sustainable. And we share our experiences from our communities. We are also advocating for sustainable solutions on a global level. Like we are, for example, joining the climate change conferences every year. So if you want to become part of that particular topic, if you're still interested in political solutions, then you're warmly welcome to come to our meetings. And I think that's basically it. So we are, on the one hand, doing advocacy work, and on the other hand, sharing experiences with our communities. So I know for a fact that most of our members go back with our knowledge that we have granted them through education work that we do, and they go back to their communities and start change there. So that's basically what we do. And from there, we have a few people that have landed jobs in the green economy. So the moment we start their interest, or they see ways to work with that knowledge that they have acquired by us, then we just open up paths to the green economy.
And I think that's really interesting, Stephanie, because we know that nothing works in isolation, right? The summit is focusing on the world of work and the creative economy, the green economy, and the care economy, but there is intersectionality between all of those. If there's one thing we've learned about COVID-19, it's that a lot of the issues that we have faced during the pandemic are directly linked to the planet, to the climate crisis. And so when we think about that in the context of work, and from a YMCA perspective, or if you work for another organization, or if you aren't connected to YMCA, this doesn't mean that you have to go and open a recycling plant, or it doesn't mean that you have to go and start installing solar panels. That's not the only thing we're talking about when we talk about climate-friendly solutions in the area of the green economy. But that might mean an education program. That might mean advocacy work, like you were just talking, Stephanie. That's all a really important part of the green economy, and it's growing at an exponential rate. The number of jobs that the world needs to transition to, we're going to see, as technology and automation move into some areas and we lose certain jobs in certain economies, we're going to grow jobs in things like the green economy. There was an amazing quote in the green economy panel from Regula from Capital Investments. She said, we used to view waste as waste. Now waste has value. If you think about everything that's recycled, our reusable water bottle, I'm trying to think of the plastics on my desk and, the things that are reused and reused. I've got hand cream that comes now in a glass because glass is able to be recycled more than plastic, for example. There's jobs behind that. There are jobs behind every single thing that you see around you, and it's going to be climate-friendly solutions that gets us towards SDG 13, SDG 8, and the connection between all of the SDGs. So I don't know if you've got any reflections on that, Stephanie. I don't know if Tendai, if you're with us, if you've managed to get hold of your panelists, or if you just want to, if your panelists aren't here, by all means do come into the conversation, come back.
No, I'm here. I was just making sure. So Adele has joined.
Yes, I see her.
Yes.
In the meantime, I can still reflect on what you just said, Mike. You focused on our reusable things right now. And what I just thought of while you talk was that if you take it a step further, we are talking about circular economy here. We're talking about how cities are getting more sustainable. There's, for example, a project in Berlin that we are having right now, which is basically they are taking the old area of the old airport and they are going to rebuild it into a sustainable area for people to live in, but also to create more jobs, to basically build an open space for people. So not just for living, but also for new park areas, for children to have a space to go. So this is a really interesting concept that we're seeing in so many cities, and so many governments are coming back to circular economy. So I really agree with you on that this is the future. Not just climate-friendly solutions. We are, as you said, are kind of coming up to, including all the SDGs by focusing on climate-friendly solutions, because with that we are having care in it, for example. So just agree on that.
Thanks, Stephanie. Tendai, I see that Adele is with us in the chat. Adele, hopefully you can hear us. Now you should be able to click share video and audio, or request to join, and we can bring you onto the screen, and then Stephanie and I can go, and you and Tendai can continue on with this the discussion around young people working towards climate-friendly solutions. Adele, if you're having any technical problems, perhaps you might tell us what those problems are in the chat. But we're looking for you to click join, request to join, or share video and audio. It should be a button for you, a blue button. Okay. I'm not.
Any luck?
We aren't getting any requests. It would. Adele has got the permissions that they would just be able to come on screen. We wouldn't need to approve it.
Okay.
I don't know if Adele has shared anything with you, Tendai, offline.
No. Not since she joined.
Okay. I'm guessing that Adele can't hear us. Let me have a look at the people tab.
I think she was in. I think she's out now.
She is. I can see in the people tab that she is not here.
Yeah, she was in a couple.
Tendai, I don't want to filibuster your session, and I do think there's a very engaging conversation to have around climate-friendly solutions. I don't know if this is a subject that actually conveniently Stephanie is quite well versed on. I don't know if you two would like, because I think the audience here, there's 23 people here. I think there would be things that people would like to share, and I think you two can carry on that conversation. I'll jump off, and would you be happy to carry on like that?
That would be great. That would be great, really. But I was really looking forward to the presentations. So let me just get my mind restructured on the new things. But it'll be great to hear. Honestly, not really much into the climate myself, so it's probably going to be more of a learning experience for me for what people have been doing more in the climate friendly and maybe energy efficiency. So I think we can actually continue, and if Adele or Nella manage to join us, then they can have the floor, but then might as well continue with everyone.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good plan to me. So we're going to open the floor. Stephanie and Tendai are going to have a conversation, but also if you want to contribute, you can click that blue button up here, and you'll be able to join as well. We'll probably bring one person on at a time. I'm going to jump away and leave you to it. Thank you so much, Tendai. I'm sorry there's been some technical issues.
Yeah, it happens. Internet in Africa.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool. Okay, great. Great stuff. I think one of the questions I heard for Nella and Adele was about how, as young people, some of the difficulties they've made in trying to establish that voice, to have that seat at the table. And I think I was more concerned because from the African perspective, it is really difficult. And there's so many politics and all kinds of things that are thrown your way that you can't just, that freedom to say, no, we need this, we need that. But I think in your experience, and also others who are on the call, if they can, what are some of the struggles that you meet, and how have you overcome this? How is it to get into that climate friendly or climate change sphere? How do you get your seat on that table?
So the thing is, I agree with you on that struggle, and the struggle is really real. So we still have it. How to get a seat on the table? For me personally, and from an RGE perspective, if there wouldn't be the resources group of environment, I wouldn't have found a way to actually be present on that table. And even then, for those of you who have no idea how climate change conferences work, you basically get an observer badge as an NGO, which means you can observe negotiations, but you are not part of the negotiation unless your government decides to open up the floor to young voices, for example. I'm in the lucky position that my government is interested in youth voices, so they always have a possibility for us to share our ideas with them. They open up a meeting for once per week. And so once per week, we come together and we share our insights, what we want from them, basically. And they try to have that in mind when they decide on things, which also is, regarding the EU, a difficult aspect, of course, but they still try to do their best. But I totally agree with you. It's always a bit of a challenge to get that seat on the table.
Okay. And what else? I think for other people on the call, it would be great to also hear some of your experiences. And I always find it's a bit different when you're looking the North and the South, how
Definitely.
we get to engage. And I feel like it would be good if we were to share some of our experiences, how people have made it, and some of the things that you've made along the way that you can just say, if you're going to approach government or policymakers in such a way, this is probably some way you can actually do it as a young person, because at the end it's just universal kind of issues and struggles. But in your own experiences, how have you managed to do it, and what would you encourage other young people who really want to take a part and have a significant impact? Hi, Shinto. Did I pronounce your name correctly? I hope so.
Yeah, I'm Shinto. Hi,
Okay.
I'm Shinto from Japan. It's like 2:15 here at midnight.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's dedication. Thank
Dedication. Yeah, definitely. Do you have anything to share with us? Like,
yeah. I just want to ask a question. Like, maybe not like climate. It's about a environmental issue. Like in Japan, we have like pretty strict rule for the garbage classifications. Like, from burnable to non-burnable, the plastics to like special like steel stuffs. In your countries, do you have like those rules of classifications? And or if there's not, is there something that like takes care of it?
Tendai, do you want to go first?
I will start.
Did you get it? Did you get my question?
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Oh, okay.
So sadly for Zimbabwe, where I am, we actually have an issue with waste management. So there is a lot of illegal dump sites basically, and we don't even get rubbish collection, the weekly rubbish collection. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So what happens is, as an individual, I sort out my trash. I actually have recyclables
Correct.
here, plastics, and by myself. And then you have certain individuals or probably private companies who actually come and collect. Some people buy, but there is not really a functioning, efficient waste management process, sadly, in Zimbabwe. So it's more of the private sector, but it's something that we've been asking for. And we have a cleanup, like the first Friday of every month, there is a national cleanup campaign. This was designated by the president and the Environmental Management Agency. But you realize that every week, people are just doing these cleanup campaigns, but there is no real end game to it. Like there is no place where, okay, we clean up today, because there is no collection of waste, people are still going to dump. And so it becomes just a cleanup after cleanup after cleanup. So that is the situation we are in. Although there have been so many ways of trying to engage the government, the private sector, but I feel like we are slowly making progress, but I feel like it's going to be a long way. Otherwise, we do have people who want to classify. Oh, great. Adele is here. Okay, Shinto. Adele?
Does that answer your question?
It did. Yeah, it was great to know the things outside of Japan, because I used to live in the States when I was a kid, and like I remember like there was no classification, just putting all the garbage into one black stuff and just throwing it away to the collection box or something. And I don't know the things there for it. So that's kind of great. Thing aside, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shunto. I think we can, as Adele is here now, actually get back to the conversation that we tried to have. So I'm leaving you now.
Okay, thank you.
Keep going. Floor is yours.
Okay. Hi, Adele. How are you? Hello? Adele, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi everyone.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm apologize. I'm Nujilembai Adelcio and founder of NBO Solution. I'm here to introduce my colleague Placid. Yeah, Placid,
Okay.
who will be presenting the session this evening. Yeah, thank you. Placid,
Okay,
introduce
awesome.
you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Placid. I'm working with
Mhm.
Adele in her company. So we're doing things together.
Okay, great. So should I put your presentation?
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Okay.
No problem.
You can give me.
Okay. So you just tell me when you want me to press next.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So it's NBO Solution and a business project specialized in production, processing, and marketing of vegetable, other 100% organic products. So Adele, he is the CEO, as he already said it. NBO Solution is an agro-business, is only doing in 100 organic products. So we're not dealing with other products, but only products that are 100% organics. So to understand why we are doing the 100% products, we have to understand the consequences of chemical pesticides. So the consequences, the first one is the human health risks. The chemical pesticides have a big impact on human health risk. And the second one is the concentration of residue in the food chain. The other one is the development of biodiversity. The last city against non-targeted fauna. We're doing the 109 vegetables.
Next.
According to HEO, WHO, specific researchers have shown that people exposed to chemical pesticides develop 90% of cancerous disease, congenital malformation, neurological problems. Those say also that chemical pesticide poisoning each year with an estimated 220,000 deaths per year. That's a problem. That's a problem dying from. So NBS Solution is bringing something to that.
Next.
And the solution to the and the solution minimization of this. So a grow project with one campaign who is no chemical inputs, no chemical pesticides. students in the sector have the assets and resources to undertake in order to improve the livelihood, but also the health of producers, customers, and to respect them. Thanks. These are the researches done by Aden and Menel. I have, as you can see, but they are talking about local plants working pesticides. She's doing organic pesticides with the local plants, with extracting the what can I say?
Oil extract.
Yeah, the oil.
Yeah.
That's it for pesticide. So it's pesticide. It's presented in Nigeria in 2017 in a bioscience forum. Have it enough and more clear if you want to.
Next.
Difficulties are always there, even though she have the problem operation at a big size. So to meet the customers high demand, because have those percent organic, and these demands are very high at a big, and she also we have also the technology, and difficulty is the lack. So facing those issues. Next, please.
Next.
The prices from a fight for the health of the army. So those are winning prize, and yeah, also there are pictures of what she's doing, and she's extracting the oil for using as a pesticide, and there it's work in of and other. That's so. That's it. It's all for now. Yeah, it was a pleasure to present NBO solution, and thank you for your attention.
Sorry, I'm sorry for English. I speak little English. Sorry.
Thank you, Adele. Not a problem. You don't have to apologize. No, you don't have to apologize. Thank you. Interesting work that you're doing. And this is work that you're doing in Chad?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I want to point out to the rest of the crew that you can post your questions to Adele in the question and answer section or even in the chat. So I think my first question, Adele, will be how has it been trying to get people to adopt use of organic pesticides?
Comment fais-tu pour faire que les gens prennent ça?
Et comment? Oui, j'ai identifié des commerçants, des clients, des gens qui s'intéressent vraiment à ça.
Comment fais-tu pour faire convaincre?
L'importance des pesticides, je leur explique l'importance.
Okay, so she's explaining to them why they should be using organic pesticides because the importance and how it is beneficial for their health and okay, chemical pesticides are she explained to them how chemical causes most of diseases and also plants pesticide from organic no
It's
cheaper.
not expensive.
Yeah, it's not expensive, and so they can have they tend to like it.
Okay. Thank you. And I think my last question before I go to other people's questions is, how are youth in Chad, more people your age, how are they in adopting climate-friendly solutions and living climate-friendly livelihoods themselves?
Comment vont-ils adopter une attitude qui est écologique?
Oui, les jeunes se sont vraiment engagés, mais l'environnement ne leur encourage pas.
The young people are so engaged in Swift because we have these consequences, the heating. So we know. Okay, so the young people are so for the Swift, but the problem is about the environment. No one is helping them. No one is paying attention to what they want. But we have a solution here in NBO solution. It's that we have so young entrepreneurs come to us, and we show them ways to be eco-friendly. We show them ways to more like eco-friendly. That's it.
Et on les apprend comment transformer les herbes en charbon.
We show them also ways to use herbs to like coals. So they are not going to cut trees no more. And Adele is doing that job, and that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then I'm going to go to the question and answer section. So there's a question here that says, well, first is a compliment. Adele, you are so brave to start this. And then, did you have any fears when starting, and how did you overcome them? Did Adele have any fears when starting the project?
Est-ce que tu as eu de peur et comment as-tu fait pour le surmonter?
Oui, au début, ce n'était pas facile, mais j'ai transformé les peurs en challenge, en défi pour les suivants. Peur constitue des défis pour moi, constitue des challenges dont je n'ai plus peur.
So Adele is saying here that at the beginning she had some fear, but those transformed them as challenges. So she's facing them as challenges. She's moving forward.
Aller au-delà de mes rêves et objectifs comme être le top 10 des entrepreneurs dans le continent africain.
So that's good. So she has also a goal, the top 10 of entrepreneurs in Africa. So the fees cannot hold her down.
Oh, great. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then sorry, you were saying something?
No,
it's okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. And then there's
another challenge for me is
okay.
English. Another challenge for me is English. I promise you, cream of I want to speak well English with
No, don't worry. I'm sure you'll be fine. And in the meantime, you can have your colleague helping you out, and then it won't be a problem, really. And then we have another question from Stephanie. What difficulties did you have as a female business leader? And was it difficult to interest farmers in your eco-friendly project? So I think the first one would be, what difficulties did you have as a female business leader? And you're muted.
So she was the first challenge she had. The leader was somehow what. So a female cannot do great things. He in Africa, he is what people believe. So when she went above those challenges, she was going forward. So they saw that not only she was able to do it, but she's doing it with passion. With what people can do. So that's it, and it's how she overcome. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And and the other question, was it difficult to interest farmers in your eco-friendly content?
Est-ce que c'est difficile de présenter ton programme au fermier?
Ce n'est pas très parce que c'est que je fais avec passion. Moi, j'essaie d'être
She was so difficult to get to the farmers interested. She knew what she knew what she was talking about, the numbers, and so she was doing it with passion. So they saw that in her and they were interested.
Et cela fait que j'ai été sélectionnée parmi les 50 femmes leaders qui vont écrire un livre pour impacter le monde.
So with that, she was selected as with other 50 women to write a book about in Africa, to write a book about, to speak loud. That's it.
The name of book is Right to Speak.
Right to Speak. That's it. So
okay,
it's
all right. Wow. That is amazing, Adele. Amazing work you're doing. And I see why you were voted one of the top 100 young conservationists in Africa. You are doing amazing work. And I see, and if you can see some of the comments in the chat with regards to the work you are doing and how people are very proud and impressed by what you're doing, as well as setting an example for young people around the world. And if you have a passion and if you believe, then you can literally do everything you set your heart to. And let me see if we have any more questions. Okay, so we have a question from Steph. Do you see climate change as a big problem for the agricultural sector? And how does it affect the farmers in your area?
Est-ce que le changement du climat affecte?
Thanks, Steph. Really good questions.
Oui, le changement climatique de façon négative est un problème. Et c'est notre défi, c'est le défi de tout le monde. Il faudrait que si seulement tout le monde lutte contre le changement climatique, le monde
an impact on what she's doing, but she believed that if we could be overcoming is also for her it's always a challenge. So this challenge is to be overcome, and working together we can get there.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That is great. And it's been a pleasure having you, Adele. And sorry for all the connection issues, but I wish you the very best, and it's amazing work that you're doing and representing women in the field. And with that, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Sorry that most of our presenters could not make it. But, I'm glad you were all participating and engaging in the presentations. So I'm going to hand it over to Steph. And thank you so much for holding fort and helping us throughout the session, Steph. Really appreciate it.
Thank you to you, Tendai and Adele. I'm really, really grateful that it worked out, because otherwise we wouldn't have had this incredible insight on the agricultural sector. So thank you so much for your presentation, Adele. It has been an absolute pleasure and a joy to listen to you. Thank you to everyone for still being here. And sorry for the technical issues, but as you all know, it happens. And so thank you to all of you as well for watching and staying here. And also thank you for filling up the chat, because that was really, really lovely to see. Before we leave here, I want to make sure that you know about the way to interact. So you can use the networking area after this session. So it is the last session of today, but you could still stay here on the platform, use the networking session or the resource library as ways to interact, and check the schedule for tomorrow. It's going to be intense, and I'm really looking forward to it. So without further ado, I would say that's it from us. Thank you to all again, and see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, and thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Steph.
Bye, Tendai.